I'm Kim Bearden, and I'm back here at the Global Amazing Shake. I'm the co-founder and executive director here at the Ron Clark Academy, and we are about to hear the top 50 finalists. Now, this morning, we started with the Gauntlet round, Work the Rim Challenge. Those scores have been tabulated, averaged together, and we're about to go to the main stage to hear who the top 50 contestants are. We're also going to get some feedback from the judges to hear things the students did well and things that they can work on. So let's go to the main stage now and see what's happening.
Judges, if y'all will come on up, let's give some feedback to our students and hear some things that they did well, some things that we can consider to work on in the future and so forth. Any other judges want to join us? Come on up and we can have that conversation. All right. So first, are any of well, let's talk about Work the Room first. We just finished that round. Judges, what were some of the things
50 judges here this morning, but just a select few are going to talk a little bit about their experiences with the students.
Maybe in small groups. What are some things that you thought the students, wow, this is exceptional?
One of the things that I saw was an icebreaker. So they came in and they either had a joke or they complimented on something I had on. And of course, people love to hear about themselves. So if you give them a compliment, they're like, "Whoa, thank you." So that was a great a way to open up a conversation. It was very natural. Then they were smiling. And I befriended a guy named David here. So they was able to talk to me and David at the same time. And it just felt very natural.
Wow, I love that. So they brought in another judge and they had a conversation as a group. That was wonderful.
Hey there, I'm Betsy. You guys are awesome. So what I remember that was just great was the difference between the Gauntlet and then the Work the Room. You guys improved in just that a little bit about time. Bravo.
As usual, I'm just going to echo awesome, awesome, great job, guys. One of the things I really loved in the Work the Room was, some of you latched on to something you found interesting that a judge said, and the judges do like talking about themselves. So when you start trying to ask questions about that, and it doesn't become just a monologue with you talking to the judge and sharing your resume, but a back and forth give and take, that really worked well. So those were the ones I gave the higher scores to.
Good afternoon. Great job, everybody. You all did amazing. What really stood out to me, I had two students that came prepared. They even had their business cards with them. That was a step above and beyond. And they took the time to explain themselves, to show me their name, their business, and contact email information. And they asked to stay in touch. Impressive.
So let's shout out the student, Renique Bush. Renique, where are you?
Straight to the front, off to the side, that little side too.
Renique, well, Riley, I mean, it's the whole school. Christopher Moore,
From the chairs, and then the easels.
Amalia Sloan. Okay, I see y'all.
So
Awesome. What a way to set yourself apart. That's incredible.
Easy. Thank you.
Judges talk about the Work the Room portion of this morning. We have 350 students here from all across the globe, even as far away as Germany, Honduras. This morning, these students went through the Gauntlet round where they had to compete in different stations, all different types of challenges. They were scored 0 through 20 points on their poise, their charisma, their ability to give a firm handshake, look someone in the eyes, speak with confidence, think on their feet. After they competed in the Gauntlet round, they moved to the Work the Room portion, which is a little bit more challenging for some because the point of Work the Room is to meet as many people as possible. You have to go up to a room full of as many as 60 judges, engage in conversation, and be able to gracefully exit that conversation to move somewhere else so that you can meet as many people like you do when you're trying to authentically network in a room. The students have those two scores combined, and from those, we're going to hear who the top 50 of the 350 students who are here who will be moving on to judging throughout this afternoon. Now, the students who are eliminated, they're still going to be here. They're going to be able to watch many of the different competitions, and a lot of them are going to bring to you live from the stage, so you'll be able to watch them yourself firsthand as well. Now, if you're joining us because you are cheering for your student, make sure you put their name in the comments, because we will post this video later and they can go back and see, oh, the people at home are rooting for me, they're watching, they're cheering for me as I compete. All of the students have done an incredible job, and they're very well prepared. But these types of situations, when you have a judge giving immediate immediate feedback on something that they just experienced when they really did have to perform under pressure, it is absolutely valuable. And what we're learning here is that this is what we call our Super Bowl of soft skills. So we have students here who we want to be able to walk into any space, any room, speak with confidence, and be able to handle any situation. So let's hear a little bit more about some of the feedback they're giving.
And sometimes you forgot to ask me mine. Basics, basics, and then you build on from there. Don't forget that part.
Yes. Oh, yes. I would echo that, and just to be yourselves. A lot of us feel like we have to be someone else. There's no one like you, so let that shine through, and then the connection will come based off your similarity. So be comfortable with who you are, and the people that you gravitate to will acknowledge that, and magic will happen.
I love that. That's incredible.
So is this just the work the room or Gauntlet? Both? Okay, so one of the things I would say is I do like that. Be comfortable in your own skin. Every single one of you are winners. You're here. You're champs. We know you're winners. Be confident. When you talk to one of the judges, the things that I didn't like seeing was a lot of dancing or this, staring away. It makes the judge feel like they're not really that important to you. You're just trying to work the conversation, then get away. So never make someone feel like you want to walk away from them. So I think that's really important to take. You guys know I'm not as mean as I was during Gauntlet. so I want to apologize if I made anyone feel uncomfortable. But during the Gauntlet, I was being difficult. I was purposely being difficult. When you see that happening, sometimes you have to focus on that person, see what matters to them a little bit and what's going on. Because everybody, you look to your left, look to your right, somebody's having a bad day. So I could have just been having a bad day. The people who worked it well for me paused and they were like, well, what would you recommend? I mean, this is my first time in Atlanta. What is your favorite? And that kind of thing works. That breaks the ice a little bit and takes away some of the tension. Never tell someone who's having a bad day like that, well, the customer is always right. Don't do that. So, but definitely, I mean, just pull people in, make people feel important, and if you do that, you're going to be successful.
And I'm just going to echo what everybody has said. Be your authentic self. Be inclusive. I had two people talking, and a young gentleman tried to come in, and she kind of gave him the stare, and he walked away. And it's like trying to include everybody, no matter where they're coming in. If they're coming in late, they're on time. We're all in this together. And just being yourself. Shout out to Cameron. Good seeing you. And he leaned in, and he's like, I remember you. Big hug. And he was just being himself, and I appreciated that.
So to echo 2 points, to echo on being yourself, I know that we always are told, have your elevator pitch, but sometimes it's overly rehearsed, and it just seemed like this is just a robot. I don't feel the authenticity in what you're saying. And then the other thing I would say, and I don't think you'd have this situation or this type of setting, so this is a little bit different, but be mindful. I know everyone comes in with a question. You have a question to ask, but be mindful of if you're in a group and you all get told, hey, ask this question, because then we get the same question 10, 12, 20 times. And after a while, if you're the 20th person, I'm sorry. So just being aware of that. And then finally, I would say with questions as well, it is good to ask the questions, but maybe step back and also say something as well from your perspective, because many times I got peppered with questions, and it was just a little exhausting.
Yeah. Everybody's all on authenticity. I was going to say that, but just real quick, and someone told me a long time ago, be the best version of yourself versus a really bad version of somebody else. So I think that'd take you very far. The other thing is, a lot of folks mentioned, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, and this is, especially some of the younger ones. My God, in 4th grade, I would have never done this. I would have called in sick. But seriously, the only way you really get better and improve is when you put yourself in uncomfortable positions. So.
Yes.
We're hearing a debrief from some of our judges. We've had over 250 judges here this weekend, but they are talking about the first 2 rounds of the Global Amazing Shake. We've had students compete in the Gauntlet round, where they had to go from station to station and do a variety of tasks, public speaking, some things prepared, to be able to answer questions, to be able to engage in an interview, and they're getting positive feedback about that and also things to work on. And then they moved on to the work the room portion, where students had to go into a room, 40, 50, 60 judges, and meet as many people as possible. It was a networking situation. They're getting great feedback because one of the things that is a purpose of the Global Amazing Shake is not only do we want students to be able to walk into a room and give a firm handshake and speak with confidence, we want them to be authentic, to sound real, to not be overly rehearsed, to not sound like everything they said is something that was memorized, but really be able to have a conversation. And so these judges are giving valuable feedback about things were overly rehearsed, or perhaps there were times that students had memorized a set of questions, but other students memorized the same ones, and so the conversation did not flow as naturally. So now we're about to hear about the guidelines that were given to them before today, and we're going to hear about who the top 50 are. So let's go back to the stage.
Read each of those columns straight down, it would have said www.thereisaclue.com. If you went to that website, it would have told you that when you got to the varsity, if you placed a coin on the counter from the year 2011, which was the inception of the Amazing Shake, then you would have received 5 bonus points. But on that site, if you had clicked on the coin, it would have taken you to another site, which would have said, if you find a coin from 1971, my birth year, then, which is much harder to find that coin, you'd have received 10 points. Could you stand up if you placed a coin at the varsity station today? Really impressive.
Receptive when they got their instructions. There was a secret message embedded in the instructions for the Gauntlet round. They figured it out. They went to a website, and they were able to place a coin at a certain round during the Gauntlet, giving them extra bonus points. So there's a lot of intellectual things you have to do in this particular round of the Amazing Shake as well.
Told why you were excited or you're happy to go. You really were playing along. Some people just said their name. They said that wasn't as exciting for them. Then, when you went to give your name, they would say this, oh, we can't find your reservation. They said a lot of students said, really? And just stood there. Some students said, no problem, I have my confirmation number. Raise your hand if you said you had a confirmation number. Really clever, clever. Raise your hand if you pulled out an ID and you had an ID. That's really, really smart. At one station, the lawyer asked you, why do you want to be a lawyer? Some of you don't even want to be a lawyer. They said the most common answer was money. And they said, okay, well, didn't score high. Those who said, I want to fight for those who don't have a voice, I want to take care of communities and neighborhoods, those stories really related. And even if you don't want to be a lawyer, you had to think, what should I say? When you were driving the car, so the gentleman said, I'm interested in hiring you to be my driver. I want to see how you do. He said, for 2 minutes, some of you just sat there. But then for 2 minutes, some of you said, oh, so tell me more about yourself. How often do you think you would need me to drive? And typically, do you go inside of Atlanta, or would these be more long road trips? I'm happy to do either. And you talked the whole time, and that received much higher points. At the varsity, when you went to order, they were told to say, oh, we're out of that. We don't have that. Some of you went and said, well, can I have number 2? No, we don't have that either. And you said, could I do number 3? We don't have that. They were looking for you to say, well, what would you recommend? Or what do you have that you think would be good? Again, the other judge from the varsity, you heard that you're not supposed to push back at them. Customer service may be rude, but you don't come back rude at them. And somebody said to her, you need to do better at your job. Don't you know there's inflation? Someone said, just do your job. Someone said, could you stop looking at your nails? It's getting on my nerves. So those got like zeros because it was just really, really rude. Some of you Some of you did your Coca-Cola commercial at the CNN station, and you did the CNN thing at Coca-Cola, so that caused problems. And guess what the most common animal is, sea animal, that you want to take care of in the aquarium? Dolphins. They said they wanted to put needles in their eyes because after hearing 100 kids say dolphin, it's just the same as everybody, 5, 5. And then finally they said, one lady said, an eel. And she said something different. And she was like, I'm going to give her a high score. Just because it wasn't dolphin. You're trying to stand out. When you left from the park and you went to the law firm, the lawyer often said, oh, I see you were just coming from Piedmont Park. And a lot of kids, she said, were like, what? That you've got to be in the moment. So just some feedback from some of those other judges. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring back to the stage your Global Amazing Shake champion, Dante Beaumont.
Dante Beaumont has been our host throughout this evening and last evening, and then all throughout today. He is last year's Global Amazing Shake champion.
We're going to find out the results. First, we start with the top 20 from the Gauntlet round. When I call your name up here, come on up to the stage.
All right, so this does not mean you're in the top 50. This just means that you got in the top 20 of the Gauntlet round. And then we're going to announce the winners of the worker room from each of those sections. And then what we're going to do is you're going to go back, then we're going to announce overall. Now, some of these kids will be in the top 50 overall, but some will not, because you may have done well in the Gauntlet, not worker room, or did well in the worker room, but not in the Gauntlet. Okay, do we have our scores? Since we don't have a sheet of paper in our hands, I'm assuming that we don't. So, Dante, why don't we talk to the audience and find out what some of the kids' impression of today was?
All right. Well, I'm listening. What do you all think of, what was you all's favorite round, or any round that stood out in particular? Yes?
Work the room.
Work the room, what about it?
Well, I could really show my personality on what I liked about different things and about the school.
That's awesome. Yes?
As we mentioned, we have 350 students here from all across the globe. We have a contingency from Honduras of 20 students. We actually have a student from Germany. We have a student from Hawaii, Canada, of 29 states, including Hawaii. So we have students here who have come from all over to compete. Many of them are their school's winner of their Amazing Shake, and others are actually their district winners as well. Schools all across America, all around the globe, are doing their own Amazing Shake competitions. And if you've never done one, you want to learn more about how to do so, if you go to theamazingshake.com, we have a starter kit for you. We have materials. We have how do you teach a child how to give a firm handshake, how to look someone in the eye. We have even all the different kind of graphics and things that you can start to do your own Gauntlet round at your school. Now, we have over 300 adults here who have come to be here with us throughout this weekend, many to cheer on their students, to support them, but also we have adults here who are here learning and attending workshops on how to better implement their Amazing Shakes in their school. So as you can imagine, having 350 students go through 2 rounds of competition, tabulating all those scores, triple checking them, making sure that they're all solid, they're all on point, and everyone is awarded fairly exactly what they earned, it's taking the judges just a little bit longer than we thought to tabulate all of those items. So right now we're kind of in a holding pattern until we hear. So as Mr. Clark mentioned, we're going to hear the top 20 winners of the Gauntlet round, then the top 20 winners of the Work the Room. But those 2 scores will be combined for an overall score to give us our top 50. Our top 50, those are the students who will move on and continue throughout the competition. Now, let's hear what some of these other students are saying about their experience here this morning while we're waiting.
But that was like 2 weeks ago, so it's really relevant, really in the times I think you'd get extra points.
Now, what's been the hardest part of the competition so far? Yes?
You got hardest part?
Thank you. So I believe that my favorite round of the Gauntlet was the one of talking to someone in the airplane, not only because I was able to interact with someone new, but also the conversation was really deep. The person that I was talking to, we were talking about charitable work and what we like to do on our free time, so I believe that that was a really good connection and something that I really enjoyed.
In the red shirt behind me? 1 second while Mr. Collins gives you the microphone.
So like about the hardest one?
Yes.
I would have to say the hardest one would be the count, like the timer, because when I went to a station, I barely had any time to even say hi to the judges or even perform what I was gonna do. Like for the talent show, I walked up to the judges, I shook their hand, and then right when I went up on the stage, the gong went off, and I didn't even get to perform my talent.
That's
a lot of the judges at that station said, you're supposed to just get up there and do your talent, and they walked down and shook all the hands and said, and by the time there was no time to do the talent, so part of the goal for that one was to get up on that stage and show your talent.
Well, I think we should let her show her talent.
Yeah!
Okay, so I was gonna do a funny skit speaking a different language, so I might as well just start. So, give me a quick second.
Gotta let her get in the
So it
mindset.
looks like I got a text message and it said, Allahu Akbar, kif inta dirki. Did they just call me a donkey? Wait a second. Let me look at this. What? A donkey? What? I think I just got called a donkey. And now they're calling the judges a donkey? This is kind of concerning. Anyway, like I was saying, oh, and here's a call. Oh, shouldn't it be? Huh? Let's just not talk about what they were just saying. Anyway.
Yeah!
So if you're just joining us, we are waiting for the judges' scores, who are the winners of the Gauntlet round, the room round, and the overall top 50. Now, the student who was just sharing an information, a little tidbit right there, there were several stages of the Gauntlet where students had no idea what was going to happen next. But there were some where they were told to prepare something in advance. For example, they had to prepare a news story that was less than 60 seconds about a current event. They had to prepare a commercial for Coca-Cola for any of their products. They knew this. And they were told they had less than 60 seconds to showcase some type of talent. It could have been something that they sing, something that they say. It could have been a poem, spoken word. The only prop they could have could be anything that could fit in their pocket. So for example, one student was very clever. She pulled out a deck of cards and she did a card trick with the judges. Now the students were told the second you hit that station, you got to jump up on that stage and go. And so a student was expressing that was difficult for her because she wanted to meet all the judges, which would be lovely, and engage with them, but she used all of her time doing that. So therefore she missed the opportunity to get up there and do a skit that apparently that she had made up. So that was one of the challenges all throughout the Gauntlet. Sometimes if you didn't act quickly, you might have missed the opportunity to do the very thing you were there to do. So what we're still waiting on are the judges' scores so that we can see who the top 50 are. These top 50 are going to go back into a room after we announce who they are. They're going to be told what's going to happen next. And we're actually going to bring that portion to you live as well, because the students will come out onto the stage. They'll be given a question, and they're going to be required to answer that question in front of the whole audience. But the clincher is, after they finish answering, their score is going to appear on the screen right above their heads, and everybody in the audience is going to see the score. Now imagine being a middle school student and having that happen. There's a lot of pressure with something like that, where all of a sudden you know that everybody's going to be watching you, paying attention. The idea of the Global Amazing Shake, though, is that we are trying to build that confidence and give students practice so that, you know what, they put themselves out there. For example, that student was just put on the spot. She said, I didn't get to do my talent. And so somebody said, go ahead and show it to us now. And you know what? She did. That's bravery, and that's what we want our students to feel and exhibit. So some of the other students are talking about their reflections while we still wait on the scores. Let's hear what else they have to say.
Because I was put in first place, and all of a sudden they bumped me down to third place, and it kind of caught me off guard. Like, I was like, what happened?
Definitely. I think I'd be a little bit rattled. I'm like, yes, I won gold. Sorry, you got bronze. My fault.
Okay.
So, definitely.
So we have our Gauntlet winners here. Just call them random.
Alrighty.
I just received a piece of paper with the top 20 winners of the Gauntlet round. The Gauntlet round. Let's hear what happens.
These are our top 20 for the Gauntlet.
And these are our top 20 for the Gauntlet round. Dylan Andrews. Zelda Stebbins. Addison Riley. Griffin Pate. Matthew Bagala, Melissa Garcia Valdez, Tatum Trammell, Marissa Bitonti, Addison Cohen, McKenna Mierdoff, Stella Guerra, Adrian Prater, Michelle Alvarez, Peyton Blankenship, Makai Johnson, Max Mermel, Nathan Huckabee, Brookhaven Buys, and Delilah Hampton Velos. All righty, now.
So there you have the top 20 students for the Gauntlet round. Actually, now we're about to hear the top 5.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
In 4th place, Tatum Trammell.
Tatum.
In 3rd place, Matthew Bagala.
Where's Matthew?
Right there, right
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry, but I didn't see you. Congratulations.
In 2nd place, Addison Riley.
Good job.
And in 1st place, for the 2024 Global Amazing Shake Gauntlet round, Dylan Andrews.
So there you have it. Those are the top 20 winners of the Gauntlet round. So these students will have those scores combined with their scores from the Work the Room to see if they move on to the top 50. Obviously, some of those students who did very, very well in the Gauntlet round may very well be part of the top 50.
I was just being myself, and I was just glad I got to show who I really was.
That's awesome. All right, Matthew, I believe you got 3rd. What was, we heard from the other people, what was the hardest challenge in the Gauntlet for you?
The hardest part of the Gauntlet for me was not a station. It was actually knowing that you may have done something wrong. Maybe I didn't thank them or I didn't do something. And having to just go with a smile to the next judge and keep on going with that smile and that good attitude.
Addison, do you have any tips or advice for future Gauntlet rounds?
If I had any tips or advice, I think everybody has probably already said this, but to be yourself. And I'd definitely say to kind of like let yourself go, like be funny, be fun, like go out there and not do something that you would do at your school, like make yourself stand out than the other people around.
That's awesome.
So, if you want to announce the others who are in the top 10, we're trying to stall. So, so why don't you start here so we see everyone that was in the top 10.
All right. In 10th place, Max Mermel. 9th place, Nathan Huckabee. 8th place, Brookhaven Baez.
Good job, Brooke.
7th place, Delilah Hampton. 6th place, Adrian Prater.
There's some ties. There's some ties.
Oh, of course. There are some ties. For 9th, it was Max
Right.
Mermel, Nathan Huckabee, and Brookhaven Baez. And then for 6th place, there was a tie with Adrian Prater and Stella Guerra.
Okay. I'm curious. Raise your hand if you brought a coin today. Okay, they came to win. I was just curious. So, did anyone bring something in their pocket to use in a round? What did you bring?
I brought some Monopoly money.
You brought Monopoly money for what purpose?
I thought there was going to be the picture, and you would have to try and figure out how to give them their money.
All right, she said she thought there'd be a picture that you had to figure out how to give them the money. Can I get a handheld? What does that mean exactly?
So I remember seeing in the Gauntlet round for your school round, there was a scenario where you were in New York Times Park and you would have someone took your picture and you didn't have money.
Oh, in our round earlier for our school, you had to have, very clever, be prepared. And what did you bring?
Should I just take it out?
Sure, definitely.
I brought a fake boarding pass.
Wow.
And then for my Coke commercial, this was just in my pocket. I just had a Coca-Cola lip balm. So I just used that.
Anything that fits in your pocket is fair game. Really, did you use those items?
I wasn't able to use the boarding pass, but I definitely used the lip balm.
And it worked for you. Look at this, Nathan. Now, can everybody tell us pass down the microphone. I want to know your school name and the city and state.
One School of the Arts, Orlando, Florida.
Good job.
Hickam Elementary, Honolulu, Hawaii. Union Elementary in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Magret School, Tegucigalpa, Honduras.
Yay.
Ron Clark Academy, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Summerwind Trails, Beaumont, California.
Mason County Middle School, Maysville, Kentucky.
The Ron Clark Academy right here in ATL.
South Seminole Academy, Castleberry, Florida.
St. Joseph School, Lake Orion, Michigan.
Incarnate Word Academy, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Crabapple Lane Elementary, Peachtree City, Georgia. The Ron Clark Academy, Atlanta, Georgia.
New Vision Charter School, Loveland, Colorado.
The Ron Clark Academy, Atlanta, Georgia. Go Dragons!
The Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, Georgia.
One School of the Arts, Orlando, Florida.
Incarnate Word Academy, Corpus Christi, Texas. Go Angels!
Bristow Elementary, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Notre Dame Marist Academy in Pontiac, Michigan.
Does anyone have a talent that you did that you think, I want to show everybody what my talent was? All right, let's see. Do you need the microphone? Most definitely.
I did a piece of a song from Hunchback of Notre Dame. I didn't finish it completely though, so. It's not my fault, I'm not to blame. It is the gypsy girl, the word you set this flame. It's not my fault if in God's plan He made the devil so much stronger than a
Incredible. That's awesome. Anyone else? Sure. Do you need the microphone? Sure.
Thank you. I did a monologue from The Wizard of Oz. But it wasn't a dream. It was a place. And you were there as well. But you couldn't have been there, could you? No, Auntie Em, this was a truly lively place, and I remember some of it wasn't very nice, but most of it was beautiful. But all the same, all I kept saying to everybody was, I want to go home. And they sent me home. Doesn't any of you believe me here? But anyways, Toto, we're home. Home! And this is my room, and you're all here, and I'm never, ever leaving here, ever again, because I love you all. And Auntie Em, there really is no place like home. Thank you.
Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you so much.
So there you have it, the top 20 winners of the Gauntlet round, the very first official competition round of the Global Amazing Shake. We're still waiting. We're about to hear those who won the Work the Room Challenge, the top 20 students from that.
We finally got the scores for Work a Room. Right now, we're going to be announcing the top 8, the person who won each round of the Work a Room portion. For the round of AB, Lauren Diaz. For the round of CD, Gianna Collins. For the round of EF, Adrian Prater. For the round of GH, Braylee Stagnolia.
Good job.
For the round of IJ, Tyson Williams.
Congratulations.
For the round of KL, Tatum Trammell.
Congratulations. Proud of you. Let's get it.
For the round of MN, Morgan Rose Jordan. And finally, for the round of OP, Torrey Roper. Congratulations, you all.
Good job.
So the students went into the Work the Room Challenge in groups. And so among them, in every group, there was one winner. And that winner is the overall round winner. So those were the 8 winners from the 8 different Work the Room challenges. Their scores will be added to the Gauntlet round, but also anybody who participated in the Work the Room also received a score that will be added. First place winner got 100 points added, second place 90, third place 80, on down to 0 points added.
Just because you did exceptional in the Gauntlet or Work the Room doesn't mean you placed with your combined score in the top 50. I repeat, just because you were one of the students who were up here, even though I'm sure we'll be calling some names again, doesn't mean with your combined score you placed in the top 50. But it's time to find out. Alrighty, we're gonna be starting with 50th place down to the individual in first place. All right, as soon as I call your name up here, come on up to the stage and we'll all cheer for you. In 50th place, Drew Diaz. Caitlin Ziegler. Flavio Silva. Isla Updegraff. Mario Alvarado. Siddharth Srivastava. Briar McCready. This is such a cool name. Princess Johnson. Deborah Weisenen. Ava Mitchell. Blaze Bentham. Yeah. Alex Cortina. Ellie Mermel. Martina Merriam. Braylee Stagnolia. Valeria Galdames. Giovanna Soto. Taylor Reese. Katarina Marriott. Mariana Mena. Audrey Love. Zach Ramsey. Zelda Stebbins. McKenna Meerdoff. Blake Stockton. Cyan Falcone. Marissa Batanti. Michelle Alvarez. Addison Cohen. Ingrid Wills. James Burke. Lauren Dietz.
Good job.
Torrey Roper. Ryan Clark. Addison Stockton. Mackenzie Love Jordan. Mikai Johnson. Valerie Chinchilla. Stella Guerra. All right. McLean Welch. And now, top 10. In 10th place, Tyson Williams. In 9th place, Lucia Jaloki. In 8th place, Morgan Rose Jordan. In 7th, Matthew Bagala. In 6th, Peyton Blankenship. Now it's the top 5. In 5th place, Gianna Collins. In 4th place, Dylan Andrews. In 3rd, Adrian Prater. In 2nd, Addison Riley. And now, for the winner of the Gauntlet and the Work the Room Challenge with the highest combined score, Tatum Trammell!
Make a row at the front on your knee. Make a row at the front on your knee. Make a row at the front on, look at the picture. Yeah, slide all the way in. Slide all the way in.
Scores have placed them in this position. Now all of their scores will start again. It's anybody's game now. Anybody could win because although Tatum Trammell, an outstanding performance, she is currently in first place, everyone now begins with a score of 0 as they add points throughout the next rounds. So we're about to have the top 50 compete after they get their photos taken, and we'll be seeing how well they are able to answer questions on the fly right there on the stage. Some of these questions are quite challenging. Prior to coming here, the students were given some topics that they might want to research to learn more about. There's an expectation that they can speak about the world, current events, things that are happening around us, things that matter to them. And so depending on what they happen to draw and how well they prepared, we'll see how well they're able to do. Now imagine being a student in middle school, 4th grade through 8th grade, and coming into a room, being flown here. Some of these students have never even been on an airplane before, coming and competing with all these adult judges and all these corporate leaders who have come here to judge them, and then now being on a stage, not only with judges, but also an audience of another 350 adults and your peers. So there's a lot of pressure here, but imagine how this is something that is preparing these students to be able to walk into any situation. So very, very proud of these students for outstanding performance. And I also love seeing those students who didn't move on, how they have been cheering and celebrating their teammates who did, clapping. It has been beautiful. So let's go back to stage and see what's going to happen now.
Coming this way.
Good luck.
And this way.
Paired, but I do think that momentarily we will have our first candidate come on stage and have to answer questions right on the fly. So let's go to the main stage, see what's happening. I believe because of the delay we have, we're not going to take a break. I think we're going to move right into this next competition round of the top 50. All right, I stand corrected. What's going to happen now is that... Oh, he's giving an interview. Let's look into the top three and listen to what they have to say.
I heard everybody, and everybody really deserves to be up here. When I heard my name get called for second place, I had no idea. I just was looking at everybody else because all of you did amazing, so it's surreal.
Adrian, what was your mindset when... Yeah, come on, clap. Yeah, Addison. So, Adrian, what was your mindset when you were about to enter the Gauntlet doors or even work the room?
Well, my mindset was simply just be my best self and present that to whoever I was talking to, because I know who I am. I know what my best self is, but if I don't present that, then no one else will know. So have that confidence, let loose a little bit. It can be a little nerve-wracking going through all of that, but in the end, just be yourself. And I know that's super cliche, but it's honestly it's the best advice.
Let's go, girl. Okay, girl. Now, Tatum. All right. You got first place with a score of 321 combined. Oh, wow. Thank you. For all of us wanting to know, how did you do it?
I mean, thank you for the question, Dante. Guys, I don't know. But I can say I took in the moment. I took advantage of everything that I did. So whether it was from the Gauntlet, each round I may have been nervous, and I know a lot of us were really nervous. I took advantage of it. I said, okay, I can't go back, so I'm gonna just have fun. And that's what I did. Work the room, there were a lot of people, so you don't really know their progress and how many people they've talked to yet, but you just gotta focus on yourself. That's the main thing, and that's kind of what I did throughout the competition. So.
Awesome. One more round of applause for your top three. Welcome ahead to Miss Music Class. But now, the rest of us are in for a little treat.
So I stand corrected. Those students are now going to go backstage, the top 50, have a minute to take a deep breath to get themselves in the right mindset to continue on to the next round of competition. So we're going to go ahead and end this live broadcast now. Be sure to put those shout-outs in the chat, in the comments for those competitors that you were rooting for, those who moved through and those who did not, because it'll help them so much to know that you have been watching for them at home. And we're going to have a little bit of entertainment here, but we'll come back live when it's time for the top 50 to actually compete on the main stage. We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.